Hello traders, this is Rich from tradesight. Here's a look at our market leading stocks via our proprietary scans for the coming session. This is going to be for Monday, October 6th, 2014. We had a pretty robust up day for the most part with some pretty good price action. But I think the one thing to take away here is we don't have a lot of signals. One of the few signals we do have is Tesla to the upside with the upside CPS condition for Monday. So that's definitely one to watch for Monday. Moving on to the financials, a couple more signals here. We've got upside CPS and Goldman Sachs, which was pretty much strong out of the gate, opened at the upper pressure threshold, and then continued higher on the day. We also have an upside CPS in Sallie Mae, and that one does have a volume bump with it. We also had a volume bump in JP Morgan, but unfortunately no particular signal in that security. Moving on to the energy names, a lot of movement here. BTU had a CPS to the downside with an open-close deviation. A couple other things here on the list here, but they're mostly to the upside. PBR, Schlumberger, and ExxonMobil all had upside CPSs. Rig had a really, really rough day on a volume bump, more than 4% below the day's open, so that could be one to watch for Monday as well. That's starting to get very, very extended to the downside. Market generals, a little bit better to the buy side. The key takeaway here from the generals is an absence of sell signals. Upside CPS is in quite a few of the names. A couple deviations here. We've got a volume bump in Disney. We also have one in 3M, and 3M is one of the stocks that has an upside CPS, so that might be one to focus on for Monday as well. Moving on to the housing names. We have an upside CPS in Home Depot. Real strong day, 0.5% below the day, above the day's VWAP, and more than 1% above the day's open. Toll Brothers had a volume bump, but no signal, unfortunately. American Airlines had a really strong day, more than 4% above the day's open, and very, very strongly above the day's VWAP with a volume bump. So the airlines are starting to catch a little bit of a bid here. Perhaps doing a little bit to the lower oil prices, but really they're really more of an economically sensitive sector, more so than the energy and the fuel costs. So keep an eye on that. The airlines are a late cycle sector, so even in the face of rising fuel prices, oftentimes they will outperform the broad market late in an expansion. So keep an eye on these. Norfolk Southern NSC had a volume bump, as did UNP. And finally, the commodities, certainly with the dollar just getting absolutely it was just exploding today after the jobs report. Commodities were definitely in play. A lot of people were kind of holding positions that were kind of at the uncle level. I think a lot of them got pushed out today. So we're seeing a lot of volume bumps here. Look at all the volume bumps here in these commodity names, not just the precious metals, but a lot of the other agricultural names as well. And there's a bunch of signals to go with them as well. Potash was more than 3% below the day's open and pretty significantly below the day's VWAP. U.S. Steel just continues to get pounded after that precarious little top that it put in right at the end of the previous option cycle. So that one is still getting pushed down. All right, folks. Good luck next week. As always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for tradesight.